Shout out to G-Man Boxing.
Alright, people. Following on from his win the weekend, Dmitry Bivol, he has some options now, doesn't he? He really does have some options at 175 pounds and realistically at 168 pounds. So Eddie Hearn has specified two fights. He's talked about the Canelo rematch, but interestingly, he's talked about Canelo rematch for undisputed at 168 pounds. Now, obviously, my preference, I've seen Canelo versus Bivol before. My preference would be undisputed at 175 pounds. That's what I want to see. I want to see him versus Beterbiev. But let's just talk about those two fights. And, the more lucrative fight in terms of financially, without even a hint of doubt, is, of course, Canelo. I mean, the money that rematch would generate would be crazy. Well, maybe not crazy, but it would be good money. He'd make a fair old bomb. Could he do 168 pounds? He looked tiny in there compared to Ramirez. Honestly, I mean, I really don't know how he does it. Gilberto Ramirez. I can imagine that's not easy doing 175 pounds. The guys are like everything on it. He just looks huge. It's crazy. Bivol is not as big, but against Canelo, he was the bigger man. And yeah, he said that he could do 168 pounds a couple of years ago, but as the years go on, you got to imagine it's going to get harder and harder. So him going down to 168 pounds, that could really play into Canelo's strengths. That really could, like if it's a bad enough rehydration, or dehydration, I should say, because Canelo didn't put a rehydration clause, to my knowledge, in their fight at 175 pounds, because realistically, probably wasn't going to really affect him that bad. Realistically, if he did put a rehydrate, I don't like seeing them regardless. But would they try and do that at 168? I'd hope not, but you never really know. You never know. That's the fight that Eddie Hearn is talking about, that financially is the more lucrative fight from a financial point of view. However, it's also in-house. I know Canelo is working with DAZN and Matchroom for now. What could happen in the future, we don't know. With Bivol, is he co-promoted? So obviously he has Rybinski and World of Boxing, who are kind of his co-promoters. Do you want to say that, or are they more kind of an advisory role? And Eddie Hearn is the main guy at the helm with Bivol. I'm not 100% sure. I know Rybinski was there with Povetkin at the Ramirez fight, so he was clearly there front and center. And Rybinski is the guy with some deep pockets. I mean, World of Boxing, World of Boxing, just going a bit off topic there. Back in the day, when they had Lebedev and Povetkin, they were putting on some shows. I mean, if you look at some of the fight cards they were doing over there in Russia, they would have either Lebedev or Povetkin, one or the other would be the main event, depending on how big each guy's respective fight was. But they'd be sharing the card. They'd have guys like Kudryashov when he was undefeated, and he'd be in competitive fights against Ola Duradola when Ola Duradola still had something in him. I think he only had a loss or two losses at the time he fought Kudryashov the first time. They had guys like that guy Shakiev. They actually had Bivol on a few of them cards, funny enough. I think the Marius Vac fight, and that card, oh my sweet, that was unbelievable. I think that was about this time, 2015. That was one of the first times I think I ever saw Dmitry Bivol, and he was low down the card, and that card was just stacked. They put that on Box Nation. That was a really good card. I think Lebedev fought Coyote, Shakayev, I think his name was. He fought Afalabi, got knocked out in 5 rounds, and Kudryashov fought Duradola. I think Troyanovsky fought on that card as well, if I'm not mistaken. That was when he was undefeated. So they were putting on, World of Boxing were putting on some brilliant shows back in the day. Just reminiscing on a few of them. But if you look at the fight Canelo versus Bivol, that's in-house. If we look at Bivol versus Beterbiev, that's cross-promotion. Now, Eddie Hearn has done cross-promotions with Top Rank in the past. Haven't done it in a while. Off the top of my head, I can't remember the last time they worked. They have done it, but I just can't really think off the top of my head the last time they've worked together on a big fight. But I'm sure for Undisputed at light heavyweight, they do it. They would do something. They'd work out a deal. The only issue is that it's pretty clear for Dmitry Bivol the road ahead. And he obviously wants to fight. He said he wants to fight Beterbiev. And credit to him. He is hunting down that legacy. He really is. And credit to him for that. But Beterbiev obviously has Anthony Yarde. More than likely going to happen in January. Now, Frank Warren's relationship with the WBO has always been very good. He's always been able to get his fight. I mean, look at Anthony Yarde. He's got 2 mandatories. Again, who's he beaten? 4 of those mandatories. Literally, like Travis Rivas and, no disrespect, but Lyndon Artur. Not really final eliminator material, but AO, he's got them anyway. Would they offer step-aside money to Anthony Yarde, and would he take it? You know, the old, as Tunde says, timing is everything. With Beterbiev, he is still lethal. He's maybe the best in the division. Top 2, him and Bivol. But Bivol is 31, 32. He's quite young, very fresh, taken no abuse at all in his career. You know, consummate professional, as is Beterbiev. But Beterbiev has been at this for a long time. He's in his late 30s, 37, 38, or going on 38. Injuries, inactivity, you know. He's not really had many tough fights. I mean, the Callum Johnson fight was, he had scares, but he's normally just steamrolled his opponents or broke them down systematically over the course of a long duration. So Beterbiev, the thing with Beterbiev is the injuries, and he's at that age where like he could fight Yarde and look lethal, just absolutely tear Anthony Yarde apart, fight Dmitry Bivol, say October next year, and in that fight just overnight. And that's what I'm worried about with Beterbiev. I don't want that. I'd like to see Beterbiev firing on all cylinders going in there with Dmitry Bivol. I hope we get that. Honestly, my preference out of the two is Beterbiev. I think that fight will be just yes. Get that fight made. I hope we can. I just wonder, will the Anthony Yarde fight be a stumbling block? And the reason I say that as well is because if Anthony Yarde decides to pursue Beterbiev, and let's just say, hypothetically, I'm not saying this will happen, but let's just say hypothetically Beterbiev ages significantly between, when was his last fight? Was it Marcus Brown? No, it was Joe Smith. He fought Joe Smith in the summer. Between the Joe Smith fight to the Yarde fight, let's say he's regressed a bit as a fighter. You know, the age, the wear and tear on his body, and maybe Yarde's able to pull something out. I can't see Yarde going down undisputed. Certainly not for the time being. I can't see Fish Eyes doing that either. They will want to milk Anthony Yarde like a cow to get as much money out of him before cashing him out. I can't see, or they'd look to go to Canelo route. Because I'm sure Canelo would look at Yarde and think, 3 of the 4 belts. You're not anything close to as good as Dmitry Bivol. I'll take that. I'll have that. Yep. Give me that fight. So if Yarde were to go in there and beat Beterbiev, I couldn't see him going down the Bivol road. Certainly not in the foreseeable future. So I would like to see both guys make hay while the sun shines. While certainly Beterbiev, I still have enough faith in him that he's still going to be fresh enough. I mean, like if you're talking about Beterbiev firing on all cylinders, you know, it's very seldom you look at a fight and you really do say it is 50-50. I cannot split them. Like if Beterbiev is on it and Bivol's on it, it's just like, I mean, who do you favour? Do you favour the speed, the footwork of Bivol, the power, the strength? And Beterbiev can box as well. It's a brilliant fight. It really is. And you're just looking at that thinking, oh my God, which one do you give it to? And that's what I want to see. I want to see the best fighting the best. And I think they are the best at 175 pounds. I hope we get it. Not to go waffling on too much in this video. Keep it short and sweet. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Beterbiev, Bivol, you think we'll get that next year? Or do you think we might get Canelo, might get him against Anthony Yarde? Who knows? Let me know your thoughts. Comment section below. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the like button, of course. We're halfway there, lads. We just gone past 9.5k. Halfway to 10k. Let's just do it. 500 subs. Come on. Less than 500 subs now, actually. Let's just do it. Let's get 10k. Yeah, that is my little goal for this year. I cannot wait to see it. Hopefully we get it soon. For now, I'll talk to you people. Peace.